rise and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all for joining us. Mr. Zerlo, would you please roll call?
Certainly. Mr. Castine.
Present.
Mr. Pizzaio.
Here.
Mr. Hall.
Here.
Mr. Henry.
Here.
Mr. Hughes.
Here.
Mr. Kretzer.
Here.
Mr. Perrier.
Here.
Mr. Potiker.
Here.
Mr. Timmons.
Here.
And Ms. Waldron.
Here.
You have a quorum, sir.
Thank you very much. All legislators have received a copy of the minutes of the October 12th, 2022 regular session. If there are no additions, deletions, or corrections, I'll entertain a motion to accept the minutes. Motion, Legislator Hall, second, Legislator Timmons. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. I will now recognize all the audience who wish to share their thoughts and concerns with the legislature. Welcome. Normally we say please raise your hand and identify yourself, but I don't think you need to do that today, so.
Okay. So I
Podium
guess
is
I
yours.
didn't have to worry about being first, right? So anyway, my name is Jerry Favreau, and I am president of the board of the Clinton County Historical Association and Museum. I'm sure a lot of you have seen and heard my name multiple times because we do a lot of mailings to all of you, and I'm sure you know what's going on. So we're here to thank you for your continued support of our programs and our museum and the hard work that we do to preserve the history of Clinton County. And we take pride in CCHA as being the best in doing that in the county. The preserving and the promoting of Clinton County history. It takes a lot of work to be the best. We work hard at raising money. We've sent out over 1,500 annual appeal letters that have gone out by bulk mail. A lot of that is our members, and we also did a business appeal this year. And we do all that in-house by hand, by the way. You know, we can't afford to hire a company to do it for us, so we do it, and it's volunteers that do all of this. So we do a lot of grants. We present programs, an average of 2 per month. And last night we did, Helen and Kate Chilton did the Plattsburgh Memorial Chapel, which was very interesting. There's an opportunity that they may do it again at another place. But we do that to give back to the community and to share the great history that we have here in our region, not just Plattsburgh or Clinton County. We send out events cards, we send out North Country notes. Currently, Helen is working with 2 local authors who are writing books, one on World War I and the other one on the Catholic Summer School. And these are both supported by grants that CCHA applied for and will cover a portion at least of the printing and publishing of these. And we do this all the time. This is not the first time that we've done this. We are dedicated to covering the whole county in our exhibits and programs. We've had people walk in and say, oh, you're a Plattsburgh museum, and as much as we love Plattsburgh, we're more than Plattsburgh. We try to make sure that people understand that we're about the whole county, and doing that, our exhibits and our programs try to reflect that. Like right now, we have a really cool exhibit on Prohibition. We have a speakeasy, and we have a player piano that you can actually play because it doesn't belong to us, it's on loan. And it's a lot about Moors in Churubusco and Ross's Point, and you know, that corridor, the bootlegging corridor. And then we have Edward Glass, which is Saranac. So we tried really hard to make sure the whole county is covered in our exhibits. We collaborate with a lot of other museums and organizations. We have someone who calls us and asks for information about genealogy. We are not really genealogists. We will share with them whatever information we have, but we direct them to the Northern New York American Canadian Genealogical Society, which is in Dannemora, because that's their focus. That's what they do. And we have a lot of the other museums and organizations that will send people to us also looking for all kinds of information. So we have a strong relationship with SUNY Plattsburgh and Plattsburgh Public Library and many others. We work with other counties, we work with Vermont, and we work with Canada. The grant for the prohibition had to include Canada, so we did the Meridian, right, Calvin? Just up the road from you, right? So we work with all kinds of people. We are currently spearheading or the chair of this, bringing about the celebration of America 250 in 2026. And we're working with many others, including the DAR and the SAR and other ones too. We're just formed a steering committee and we're kind of getting our feet wet, making a plan. So we get involved in a lot of different projects within the museum walls and outside the museum walls. We're members of organizations that focus on history, as like the Museum Association of New York. We're closely associated with ACA, which is the Adirondack Coast Cultural Alliance, which coordinates annual museum days, which this year was the 13th, which would have been the 15th if it hadn't been for COVID. And that was the brainchild of Bob Parks and John Bernardi, who 15 years ago said we should do this. And we've been doing it now. We've had 13, and they're very successful. They bring a lot of people into the county. There's going to be a lot more information in our annual report. I hope that you at least look at it, kind of go through. We try to make sure that you understand what we're doing. So we are replacing our roof. We couldn't wait any longer. We had a major leak in one of our galleries. We had a young man who went into our attic and looked, and you could see sunlight, daylight coming in 4 different places. You could see where water had pooled in the insulation, and we were very concerned about what was going to happen with our building and our collection, because we can't lose our building. You lose your building, we won't have anything. There'll be nothing. So we did did what we were supposed to do. We reached out, did a lot of research about replacing it, and the only one that stepped up and responded to us was Mark Faxon. He's out of Granville, New York, and he's a slate guy.
Not the only left.
And he's an expert. He actually brought us a slate Bible. Now, I don't know, you knew there was a slate Bible, but if you'd like to see one, we have a copy. It is really pretty interesting, to tell you the truth. So, unfortunately, they just finished today. They have one half done, and then they'll come back in the spring, when the weather is much nicer. So, unfortunately, this is pretty much drained what we had for savings. But thank goodness we had them, because if we didn't have it, where would we be today? I don't know what we would be doing. So we're going to work really hard. Part of our appeal and other things in fundraising is to try and at least reestablish some of that in case we have another major incident, at the museum. I think we've been very good at what we do. We had a front porch that was falling apart about 7 years ago. I guess we replaced that. Our back steps actually did fall apart. We were very lucky nobody got hurt. We were able to replace those. We've been able to we have 35 windows on the 2nd and 3rd floor, the 1st and 2nd floor. We've actually had some that fell apart, in December. So we've been very, very fortunate through grants, and tobacco money is one of them. It's going to help us to purchase some more. We've had some donors that really stepped up, and we also have had other grants through the Basin program where we're going to replace more. I think we'll have a total of 12 or 17 that are replaced, and we go around and we replace the worst ones first. So we try to make sure that we're spending the money the right way and doing the right thing. So I also have to, a little note here, I also have to share how much we appreciate Nate and Connor at Essential Stores. And if you've not worked with them or run into them or whatever, I can't say enough good about them. Sometimes we're a little bit of panic. Most of the time we try not to be. And they're very, very responsive. They do a great job. They help us with all of our copies, which we appreciate because it's a lot cheaper than if we had to get them done someplace else. So I want to make sure you know how much we replace, how much we appreciate those two young men. So I am personally going to invite each and every one of you. I know there are 3 of you in the room that I have actually seen in the museum. Wendell, of course, is one, and Calvin comes and does his thing with us. And Francis, you came one time. And I would love for all of you to come. You don't have to come as a group. Pick up the phone and say, hey, it's Sunday afternoon and I got a couple of hours. I'll open for you. Or Helen will open for you and let you in. And we'll show you what great exhibits that we have. We took the opportunity during COVID when the volunteers were able to come back, and we changed up all of our exhibits, and we did a lot of other little, cosmetic stuff in the museum. And I think if you come, I'm sure you're going to be very pleased to see what you guys are helping to pay for. Because without you, we would, I don't even want to go there. Anyway, so he's not in the room, but I was going to congratulate Mike on his new appointment, which is he very well deserved, but also is so good for Clinton County to have him in that position. So the only other thing is that I want to share, I want to make sure you understand all the chocolates. CCHA doesn't buy chocolate. We don't have money to buy chocolate. Those are a gift from me, Jerry Favreau. I was going to say I bought them out of my Social Security check, but that's true. But yeah, so, and Jackie, I apologize. I didn't realize you were going to be in the room, but
Mike gave me half of his.
But I also bought a box of chocolates for the staff, the office staff, because you know who really does all the work around here.
Here.
Yes. I was office for many, many, many years, so thank you for having me and supporting us.
I think you should get whatever you want. I saw Patty Waldron's picture in the book.
Oh, and Helen's going to talk about the book, so thanks very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yes, ma'am.
Your meeting's gonna go longer than you thought, right?
Nah, that's fine. We like hearing from Jerry. It's Mike we don't want to go on.
Well, I wanted to share with you an award the association received this fall from the Champlain Valley.
This is Helen, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh,
Everybody knows now.
Helen and Director Alan Nurska for Calvin's son. He gets my names confused. That's all right.
Is that Alan in the middle?
It's so nice to see so many friendly faces, that's true. Anyway, we got an award from the Champlain Valley National Heritage Partnership. And I say we because it was all of us working together that made this happen. It was an award that was for the 101st anniversary of the 19th Amendment to the Constitution that we celebrated. And the suffrage anniversary event was called, and it's in their book, the Champlain Valley Suffrage Centennial Motorcade. And it belonged it started in Plattsburgh on July 31st, going for 4 weekends and ending in Glens Falls on August 21st. Patty was there representing you, and thank you very much, that was great. And Wendell Hughes actually helped prepare the grounds for the event. Otherwise, we would have been in a sea of grass. So
I was there for the event too.
and you were there for the event.
It was awesome.
It was awesome.
They did
I
an
know.
outstanding job.
But it's a team effort, and we all participated. It was really, really appreciated. Under this grant, though, CCHA that we managed, we worked with 30 partner organizations to conduct 10 suffrage celebrations throughout that period. And then it culminated in the publication of that book. In fact, the association, the Heritage Partnership Group, gave us a little more money so that we could finish that book, because that's the story of what happened. And it was very, so we got an award for all the work that we all did, so that's good. The other thing is, as you know, Jerry and I might be the face of CCHA, But we always want to mention our volunteers because we could not do any of this, like coordinating an event with 30 partners. You don't just do that with 1 or 2 people. And you need to know that CCHA attracts incredible volunteers with, and my watch is going off. This is my watch. Stop. I'm sorry. We attract incredible volunteers, and we really could not do our work without it. And Calvin, for example, films most all of our events, and that shares it with everybody, and with his archives. The events are there for the rest of our lives, certainly, and into the future. And thank you, Calvin. It's very important what you do. One final thing I wanted to mention about the research opportunities and services that we offer at CCHA. We take our responsibility to provide all the information that we have to anyone. We don't charge for it. We provide for free all the information that we have, availability to everything we have in our museum. And we have, you know, over 40,000 documented items. And a lot of those are photos and documents and all sorts of things that we, because of our system, were able to provide that information, and that's what we spend our time on. I wanted you to also note that we have a monthly column in the Sun, and it tries to cover topics from all over. So if you have topics in your area, history, pieces of history you feel aren't or should be shared, please let me know, because the Sun is very good about doing that for us. It's for free too, of course. They have a free columnist, but that's okay. I like what they do. Also, Jerry mentioned that we had 2 authors. We actually have a budding author that we hope is going to also be producing a book on the Legislature. So you can all guess who that might be. And so we're very excited about working with these people to get the information, get our history published. So, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Can I make just one more comment to add to Helen?
Yes, no,
Very,
go right
very
ahead.
brief. You heard her say, like, we offer like research for free. You know, when our admission at the door is free, we often get checks in the mail for substantial monies thanking us for what we do. So we provide a service where we get more in return than we would if we charged. So that's why we do that. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Ms. Smith. Thank you, ladies.
Never gets old having people from Area 8 come in.
Pardon?
Area 8,
Right. Area 8. Okay, how do we get out of there? This way?
Either way.
Either way?
Either way.
Either way is good.
This way?
The sheriff's there, but that's a safe way to go.
Yeah.
We will now go to committee reports. I will call on the chairperson of each committee in alphabetical order by committee, starting with Buildings and Grounds, Legislator President.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. The Buildings and Grounds Committee has not met since the last regular session. The next Buildings and Grounds Committee meeting is tentatively scheduled for Monday, November 14th at 4 p.m. End of report.
Thank you, Sarah. Children and Family Services, Legislator Bacher.
Thank you, Chairman. The Children and Family Services Committee has not met since the last regular session. The next Children and Family Services Committee meeting is tentatively scheduled for Tuesday, November 1st at 5:15 p.m. End of report.
Thank you. Economic Development and County Operations Committee, Legislator Wall.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, the Economic Development and County Operations Committee has not met since the last regular session. Resolution number 789 has been placed on the agenda as a result of the committee's recommendation from the October 12th meeting. The next Economic Development and County Operations Committee meeting is tentatively scheduled for Wednesday, November 9th at 4 p.m. End of report.
Thank you, ma'am. Finance, Legislator Timmons.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, the Finance Committee has not met since the last regular session. Resolution 790 on today's agenda has been withdrawn. We'll discuss at the next Finance Committee meeting. The next Finance Committee meeting is tentatively scheduled for Wednesday, November 2nd, 5:15 p.m. End of report.
Thank you. The Health Committee and Legislator Hughes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Health Committee has not met since the last regular session. The next Health Committee meeting is tentatively scheduled for Wednesday, November 2nd at 4:15 p.m. End of report.
Thank you, sir. Human Services, Legislator Perrier.
Thank you. Human Services Committee has not met since the last regular session. Committee was pulled on Resolution 791 on today's agenda. The next Human Services Committee meeting is tentatively scheduled for Tuesday, November 1st at 4:15. End of report.
Thank you very much. Personnel Committee, the Personnel Committee has not met since the last regular session. The committee was pulled, however, on Resolution 792 and 793 on today's agenda. The next Personnel Committee meeting is tentatively scheduled for Monday, November 7th at 5 p.m. Plattsburgh International Airport, Legislator Hall.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Plattsburgh International Airport Committee met earlier today. Chris Craig, the airport director, was present to discuss resolutions authorizing contract with Alta Construction Equipment in New York, LLC, and amending Resolution 565, dated August 17, 2022, titled Awarding Bid for Aqueous Film Forming Foam Testing System Equipment. Mr. Craig also provided an airline update, tenant update, equipment update, and staffing update. Resolution 794 and 795 have been placed on the agenda as a result of the committee's recommendation. The next Plattsburgh International Airport Committee meeting is tentatively scheduled for Monday, November 21st at 4 p.m. End of report.
Thank you. Public Safety, Legislator Castine.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman, the Public Safety Committee has not met since the last regular session. The next Public Safety Committee meeting is tentatively scheduled for Monday, November 7th at 4 p.m. End of report.
Thank you very much, sir. Transportation, Legislator Kretzer.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Transportation Committee met on Monday, October 17th. Shannon Thayer, the Senior Planner for Clinton County Public Transit, was present to discuss resolutions authorizing contract with Sparkle Clean and authorizing Section 5311 Federal Transit Administration Formula Grant for Rural Area Program application for years 2021 through 2023. Carl Weiss, the Highway Superintendent, was present to discuss resolution rejecting bid for one new self-drive work platform and authorizing the purchase agent to resolicit bids. Mr. Weiss also discussed his reappointment as Highway Superintendent. Resolutions number 796 through 798 have been placed on the agenda as a result of the committee's recommendation, and the next Transportation Committee meeting is tentatively scheduled for Monday, November 14th at 5:15 p.m., and that's the end of the report.
So, Chairman Kretzer, the Transportation Committee unanimously agreed to move Mr. Weiss's reappointment to the Personnel Committee.
Okay, excellent, excellent, excellent. Liaison reports. Board of Health, Legislator Potter.
Board of Health met on October 17th for our regular monthly meeting. 3 resolutions were voted on, and we were attended by a new Board of Health member to replace the former president. Robert Damone will be filling the position if he's approved by this body.
Okay.
No, is that on the agenda at this point?
Not yet, no. I think I was waiting to hear if he was going to agree to the request.
Yeah.
And then we were going to get a formal letter from the Department of Health that would go to the legislature.
All right, yeah,
But he is a physician in town, right?
Yep, he's my doctor. I saw him today, and he submitted his resume, I guess,
Okay.
he needed to provide.
Yeah, okay, that works. Chamber of Commerce, Legislator Potter.
No report.
Clinton Community College, Legislator Pizzato.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. Due to lack of quorum, the October 25th Clinton Community College Board of Trustee meeting was canceled, and there is no rescheduled date at this time, and the report.
Okay, thank you. Community Services Board, Legislator Castine.
No report, sir.
Cooperative Extension, Legislator Jennings.
No report, sir.
Discipline Review, Kim, you got nothing, right? Agreements the same. Intercounty, Legislator Walden.
Yes, this is a time of year we're very excited to showcase Clinton County tomorrow, so thank you all for being able to attend, for most of you can, so it was a good turnout in Clinton County.
10 o'clock, that is?
At 10 o'clock at Beta Technology, so between 10 and 10:30 is when you arrive for donuts and coffee. And then the presentation from Beta to the other counties and ourselves will begin. And then lunch at Buster's around 11:45 or so, we should be getting to Buster's. But
Your business meeting,
business meeting will be at Buster's. We'll try to, it looks like a pretty short agenda, so that should go pretty quickly, and we'll get a nice act update. So it's good to have you all there for those updates, are actually very informative.
All righty, thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome.
LCLG Regional Planning Board, Legislator Hughes Cresser.
No report.
Soil and Water, Legislator Ferguson Timmons.
No report.
Workforce Development.
The Executive Director, Sylvie Nelson, had hoped to come to tonight's meeting to kind of give a brief update, but I believe if it works for the schedule, it'll be at the next scheduled regular session.
Very good. Anything else that I may have missed? All righty. Staff reports. Ms. Keller.
I'd like to request a brief executive session to update on contractual negotiations.
Okay. And Mr.
Sale of real property.
Sure.
And sale of real property.
I was gonna add sale of real property. Other than that, just let you know that, Kim and I are progressing through your county budget. Hope is to get you your recommended budget on the day that I promised you. Things are, seem okay, with a couple of minor blips that we'll certainly talk about in depth, but this is the year that some of our CARES Act money for certain departments has run out. So we're looking at some considerable jumps in certain departments. Well, I'm not gonna bore you with those details tonight, but suffice to say that there are a couple larger increases based on the federal money that is no longer available to us.
All righty. Thank you both. Resolutions. Before voting on the resolutions, it's important to note that the majority of the resolutions have been thoroughly discussed by the appropriate committees, and the legislature is taking action tonight based in large part on the recommendation of those committees. Mr. Zerlo, would you please read the title of the resolutions to be acted upon?
Certainly. Resolution number 788, approving change in meeting date of regular session number 20, Legislature.
Motion, Legislator Timmons, second, Legislator Hall. Discussion?
Yes. Not particularly on this, but we seem to do this every year. Can't we just put this on our calendar when we start the year, that we know that Thanksgiving week, we're gonna try to move to the Monday?
Well, the rules of order say every second and fourth Wednesday, except for those 2 months in the summer. So it's, to be very honest with you, it's just as easy to keep the rules of order as they are and pass the resolution as it is to increase the rules of order.
Okay. Any further comment, discussion on that? Questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution number 789, authorizing contract with New York State Electric and Gas Economic Development.
Motion, Legislator Waldron, second, Legislator Caston. Discussion?
Very briefly, this is the cost to bring the electrical service, alongside Allenroe Road to the pump station. Obviously the hope was that this cost would have been borne by someone else, but it's a necessary evil regardless.
Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Ms. Waldron?
Yes.
Resolution 790 has been withdrawn. Resolution 791, authorizing various contracts for peer-to-peer services, veteran services.
Motion, Legislator Perrier, second, Legislator Desio. Discussion?
This is those of you on Human Services know this, but this is the result of the State of New York Dwyer grant. It's a great program that the state funds to have the local Veterans Services offices come up with peer-to-peer, veteran peer-to-peer functions or contracts to assist veterans struggling when they left service. So this is the resolution. These are the programs that Kevin feels will do the most good in our county.
Any further discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Ms. Waldron?
Yes.
Carried. Resolution 792, approving backfill of permanent full-time assistant district attorney, DA's office.
Motion, legislator Castine, second, legislator Hall. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution number 793, approving backfill of permanent full-time assistant district attorney's position, DA's office.
Motion, legislator Hall, second, legislator Kretzer. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 794, authorizing contract with Alta Construction Equipment with New York LLC, Plattsburgh International.
Motion, legislator Hall, second, legislator Hughes. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Ms. Walter?
Yes.
Resolution number 795, amending resolution number 565, dated August 17, 2022, titled Awarding Bid for Aqueous Film Forming Foam Testing System Equipment, Plattsburgh International.
Motion, legislator Hall, second, legislator Timmons. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Ms. Walter?
Yes.
Carried. Resolution number 796, authorizing contract with Sparkle Clean, Clinton County Public Transit.
Motion, legislator Kretzer, second, legislator Bizarro. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Ms. Walter?
Yes.
Carried. Resolution number 797, authorizing section 5311, Federal Transit Administration Formula Grant for Rural Area Program application for years 2021 and 2023, Clinton County Public Transit.
Motion, legislator Kretzer, second, legislator Hughes. Discussion.
So this is the federal share of any new buses that we receive. The state of New York also kicks in 10%, so the county ends up paying 20%, of the, is that right? No, I'm sorry. It's 80% federal, 10% state, 10% local. So the county ends up paying 10% of each bus that we purchase.
Any further discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Ms. Walter?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 798, rejecting bid for one self-drive work platform and authorizing the purchasing agent to resolicit bids, Highway Department.
Motion, legislator Kretzer, second, legislator Potiker. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Ms. Walter?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 799, authorizing the county treasurer to increase appropriation and corresponding revenue for the Health Department budget, Health Department.
Motion, legislator Timmons, second, legislator Hughes. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Ms. Walter?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 800, authorizing the county treasurer to increase appropriation and corresponding revenue for the Highway Department, Highway.
Motion, legislator Timmons, second, legislator Kretzer. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Ms. Walter?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 801, authorizing the county treasurer to decrease appropriation and corresponding revenue for the Bulletproof Vest Partnership Program, Sheriff's Department.
Motion, legislator Timmons, second, legislator Castine. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Ms. Walter?
Yes.
Carried. Resolution 802, authorizing the county treasurer to establish appropriation and corresponding revenue for the Bulletproof Vest Partnership Program, Sheriff's Department.
Motion, legislator Timmons, second, legislator Castine. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Ms. Walter?
Yes.
Carried. Resolution 803, authorizing the county treasurer to establish appropriation and corresponding revenue for the High Visibility Road Checks Saturation Patrol DRE call-out during impaired driving crackdown grant, Sheriff's Department.
Motion, legislator Timmons, second, legislator Castine. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Ms. Walter?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 804, authorizing the county treasurer to establish appropriation and corresponding revenue for the Child Passenger Safety Grant, Sheriff's Department.
Motion, legislator Timmons, second, legislator Castine. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Ms. Walter?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 805, authorizing the county treasurer to establish appropriation and corresponding revenue for the Community-Based Traffic Safety Program Grant, Sheriff's Department.
Motion, legislator Timmons, second, legislator Castine. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Ms. Walter?
Yes.
Carried.
And resolution 806, authorizing the county treasurer to establish appropriation and corresponding revenue for the Police Traffic Services Grant, Sheriff's Department.
Motion, legislator Timmons, Second, legislator Castine. Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Ms. Walter?
Yes.
Carried. Is there anything else to come before the legislature? Hearing nothing, I'd like to entertain a motion to enter executive session. A motion by legislator Kratzer, second by legislator Hughes. Too late. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Carried.
Back in executive session, Chairman, at,
No, we're back in regular session.
that's right, back in regular session at 6:03. Isn't it hard to be right all the time, Chairman?
It's a burden. My wife keeps me on. I'll tell you that. Motion to adjourn. Motion by legislator Hall. Any discussion? Second by legislator Kratzer. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. We are adjourned. Thank you all very much.